Well, it never occurred to me. So you think he was lying?
Not that I'm not saying. Look, I play devil's advocate. Everyone knows it about me on this show. They're like, Luis J. Gomez, devil's advocate. It's a thing that he does.
Louis Devil's Advocate Gomez, as you know, in certain circles.
A lot of people call me that. So I'm just saying, it's very easy for him to say this. I'd like to see some receipts, maybe a picture, a selfie of him and some Irish security guards. I'm just like, any one of us can make up whatever story about years ago about doing this crazy thing. Here's my problem.
You're right.
Can I tell you why my detective work here, where I'm saying I don't necessarily 100% believe it? Because why did they detain him? Why the fuck would they stop him? When you could fly anywhere, you can get off the plane, you can go to the gym. I can do that right now.
Because listen,
he yelling about it?
No, but some crazy Chechen-looking dude, right, flies there, right?
He doesn't speak English.
He's got no bags. He's Russian as fuck, right? Because he's going to get in and out. He's going to do the job.
He's just mumbling Conor McGregor's name.
It's like this, I smashed Conor McGregor. They're like, that's illegal here. You can't do, yes, no. And they're like, all right, so what brings you into the country here, you wee young man there? So yeah, how you doing? Welcome to Ireland. So what brings you here? They smashed Conor McGregor.
They must break Conor McGregor.
Yeah, they're like, what'd you say there? Didn't quite make that out, pal. Is that I smashed Conor McGregor? And they're like, what the fuck's he saying there? No, listen, he's got no bag or maybe one backpack with just like, and when they searched his backpack, he had gloves, a mouthpiece, and a knife. And they're like, I don't, like, this guy is here. I don't know. What are your intentions? And he couldn't give an example. He had nowhere to stay. His flight was leaving later that day. Clearly, if he is telling the truth, I mean, you can clearly see that this man was here for trouble, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what it was. I'm just saying it was a little weird that they wouldn't let him off, like out of the airport. They arrested him, they detained him, all because he had that wild look in his eye and he was coming for Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but don't ruin the story. You know what I mean? We have to.
I think we made it better.
No, you're trying to steal people's money. You're ruining what's his name, Khamzat Chimaev's story, right? We don't need you fact checking. That's just an awesome story, Lewis. Let's just live in the moment. Let's romanticize it. If anything, let's exaggerate the story.
He did beat Conor McGregor's ass. He beat his ass in the streets of Ireland.
I tell you what, listen, story or not, I mean, that's certainly a way to get attention. And if he did do that, I mean, the guy is out of his mind. He's a great fighter. He really is. I think he's got a bright future. Lewis, with your hand up at the back.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, yeah, I think you're right. Who cares if it's true or not? I don't give a fuck. Actually, a friend of mine years ago said that to me because I was complaining about one of my other friends who would always lie. My other friend was sort of an astute point for just some dumb Rockland County kid to make. But he was like, who cares if it's a lie? To you, it's just a story. Like, whether it's true or not, like, it's you. Did you like the story? Did you enjoy it? So
did you enjoy
whatever.
it?
So that's a very, very good point. And to be honest with you, he's doing what he has to do because we're talking about him. People are writing about this story. It's a big, crazy thing. His name keeps on coming up in MMA media. This is the beginning of, you see, the seeds being planted for possibly a future star. Now, he's got to go deliver. He's got to keep winning. He's got to have exciting fights. He's got to keep on doing intriguing interviews and having those intriguing matchups. But all young fighters should sort of take notice as to how to start off your UFC career. Start making waves, get people talking about you, create some moments.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong with when the biggest star in the entire sport by far is interacting with you. Because remember, I think did you see that? He went on his Instagram call and said rat lip or something like that. So Conor insulted him. So I think, the going back and forth and, as I just said, going back and forth with the biggest star by far isn't a bad way to do it. You have 2 wins in 11 days. Dana White's, loving your attitude and your performances. The only problem for him so far is that he's still unproven. Of course, he's undefeated. I think he's 7 or 8-0 now. And the 2 guys that he beat, obviously John Phillips and the other guy, apologies, I forget his name off the top of my head. Good fighters, like to stand up, but Chimaev just got them straight away, immediately in the opening sequences and took them down. And then from there, he had a very Khabib-esque ground and pound, and they weren't able to get back into the game. They weren't able to actually compete for a second because he shut them down so quickly. I'd like to see if he's still capable of doing that against, some of the some of the better guys with respect, some guys that can wrestle a little bit, some guys that have very dangerous jiu-jitsu off their back, much like Khabib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says about Khabib. We'll see if he can implement the same kind of dominating style that Khabib has.